You're losing $300,000 by age 35, earning $350K in tech, and it's not taxes. Most software engineers don't realize this until year 5 when they compare their net worth to college friends back home who earn half as much. It's jarring, it's demoralizing, and it's completely predictable once you understand the mechanism behind it. By the end of this breakdown, you'll know exactly where that $350K goes, why your savings rate collapsed despite the massive income bump, and the one behavioral shift that could add $300,000 to your net worth by age 35. This is the math that Silicon Valley doesn't teach you. Let's start with the raw data. According to the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances and Bureau of Labor Statistics wage data from 2024. Here's what the numbers actually show. A software engineer in Silicon Valley earning $350,000 gross saves approximately 8–12% of that income annually. That's $28,000 to $42,000 per year going into savings and investments. Meanwhile, a teacher in the Midwest earning $65,000 saves 15–20% of gross income. That's $9,750 to $13,000 per year. The trap is visible immediately. The tech worker earns 5–4 times more income, but they save only 1 to 4, 3 times more dollars. The savings multiple doesn't match the income multiple, and that's where the wealth gap collapses. This is the first place most people get confused. Here's where it gets worse. After taxes, California's marginal tax rate for $350K earner sits at 40–45%, combined federal and state. The Midwest rate, 25–30%. That's $35,000 to $52,500 annual tax burden difference before housing, childcare, or lifestyle decisions even factor in. You're already down $35K to $52K before you pay rent. But taxes alone don't explain the compression. The hidden culprit is cost of living anchored to vesting schedules. This is the psychological trap that catches 90% of tech workers. When a software engineer receives a stock option grant, let's say $200,000 in RSUs vesting over 4 years, the mental anchor shifts immediately. The brain perceives $50,000 per year in new income. Suddenly, $3,500 monthly rent becomes acceptable. That's $42,000 per year. And $80,000 car lease makes sense. Private school tuition for kids, fine dining becomes weekly instead of quarterly. The research shows this isn't random behavior, it's predictable psychology. Vesting schedules create psychological income milestones. Every 12 months, another tranche of equity vests, triggering another lifestyle bump. By year 2 or 3, the tech worker's monthly burn has scaled to match 88–92% of gross income. The Midwest teacher, earning in smaller increments without the psychological vesting trigger, maintains a flatter spending curve. Same income psychology, different baseline. Here's the delta spelled out over 15 years. The $350K earner saves $420,000 to $630,000 gross before additional taxes on investment gains. The $65K earner saves $146,250 to $195,000 gross. This appears to be a $225,000 to $484,000 gap favoring the tech worker. But here's the kicker. After accounting for California income tax on those savings, property tax on real estate purchases, and investment tax drag on equity gains, the after-tax wealth gap narrows dramatically to $140,000 to $280,000. Meanwhile, the Midwest teacher's savings compound in a lower tax environment with roughly 8% lower state income tax drag annually. The critical insight: by age 35, without deliberate intervention, a $350K earner in Silicon Valley could have less invested capital than a $65K earner in Columbus or Des Moines. The compounding impact over 30 years to retirement, a potential 7-figure shortfall. This is why some tech workers retire with less net worth than their parents. So what's the one behavioral shift that changes everything? Data from Glassdoor and Levels. FYI shows that tech workers who deliberately freeze lifestyle inflation through the first 2 vesting cycles, typically 24 months, accumulate an extra $300,000 to $400,000 in invested capital. That's the difference between retiring at 55 or 65. That's generational wealth. One decision. 2 years of discipline, $300,000.